In today's episode of History Corner, we will be talking about the Crusades, specifically the Fourth Crusade. The Crusades were a series of wars for the Holy Land. The Holy Land is called Jerusalem. These wars were mostly a failure for the Christians, which wanted to take the Holy Land from the Muslims. We'll be focusing on the Fourth Crusade, which was initiated by Pope Innocent II, and was done to try and retake the Holy Land. We start with the Third Crusade. King Richard I, the man to lead the Third Crusade, promised to return and capture the Holy Land after his failure. However, he would die in a campaign against the French. Most of the powerful monarchs, France, England, Spain, and Germany, were busy dealing with internal affairs, and therefore it would have much less power than the Crusades before it. Soldiers and peasants from across Europe signed up and went by ship or walk to the Holy Land, and in October 1202 CE, the army was ready to set sail. However, there were some issues. The Italians were unwilling to pay for the ships, fares, and supplies. The total price would add up to 85,000 silver marks, which would be twice as much of the annual income of France. The Crusaders decided that a compromise would have to be made with the Italians. You see, the Italians wanted to reconquer the strip of Dalmatia that the Hungarians had reconquered recently. So the Crusaders decided that along the way they would attack and occupy the Dalmatian coast from Hungary, and then attack Jerusalem. It was also agreed that 30 ships from the Venetian navy would also support the Crusaders, and half of all conquered territory would go to the Venetians. The Crusaders went to Dalmatia and occupied it for the Italians. The Pope was furious about this, and he excommunicated the Crusader army. The Crusaders would then travel downwards to Alexandria. The Crusaders would receive a deal while on their way to Alexandria. They were told that if they recovered the throne for Alexios II of Angelos, they would gain large sums of support and gold from the Byzantines. The Crusaders agreed, and they captured Constantinople for the emperor. However, he would be assassinated during a coup, and this would result in chaos. It is then that a very important character in the Fourth Crusade, Doge Enrico Dandolo, would appear. He wanted to dominate trade in the east, and conquering Constantinople was one way of doing it. The Pope had also wanted to conquer the Eastern Church, as there were lots of major schisms between them. This resulted in the Crusaders conquering Constantinople, and the treaty would be signed after the siege and sacking of Constantinople. The treaty would be like this. The Venetians took 3/8 of Constantinople, the Ionian Islands, Crete, Euboea, Andros, Naxos, and a few strategic points along the coast of the Sea of Marmara. Count Baldwin of Flanders was made the first Latin emperor of Constantinople, 1204 to 1205 CE, and crowned in the Hagia Sophia, receiving 5/8 of Constantinople and 1/4 of the empire, which included Thrace, northwest Asia Minor, and several Aegean islands. Boniface of Montferrat took over Thessalonica and formed a new kingdom there, which also included Athens and Macedonia. This treaty would result in the breaking up of the Byzantine Empire and was a shock to the Christian world. Very few Crusaders would continue on their crusade to Alexandria and Jerusalem.